you doing? Stop scrolling. What good are you going to do to our country scrolling? This is how much a housing benefit is paying for a homeless person to stay in a homeless shelter. £600 per week. Per week. It's over £2,000 per month for one room. We'll get to the exacts in a second. I've obviously blanked my name out, but look. It's backwards. Basically, £554.76 per week. And then they want £80 per month for top up or we have to pay that. So basically, I've been working for like the last 10 years. I've had 2 years off because I had a breakdown. I went homeless and I got a homeless shelter. Basically, like I've been a taxpayer for like years. So basically, this feels like I'm paying this myself. £600 per week, and they had the audacity, to up it by £5 in the space of a tax year. This ain't sustainable. This is £600 per week is not sustainable for one person for one room in England. It's not. I don't care what you say, what you think, what side you sit on or nothing, but it's not sustainable. How are we paying £600 per week for one person for one room? Doesn't make sense. My idea for the homeless, which is me, I am in a homeless shelter. We should be sleeping in the middle of a field in a load of tents with like a welfare unit made out of containers, cheap, affordable, effective. I would have done this myself. And I said to him, like, we should be staying in tents, like V-Fest, like thousands of tents. We should have something like that. And I was speaking to the staff here, and I was like, yeah, but you'd have trouble staffing it because obviously you got crackheads, you got brownheads, you got alcoholics, and then you got people like me that are just crazy, just suffering with mental health. I want to go back to work. I'm waiting for some psychological help, but I'm trapped by £600 per week. So I'm going to have to work on the sly for like 2-3 months, hoping that they don't catch me, just so I can have enough funds to move out. Like the council do offer like rent and deposit scheme, but I've tried it. People don't. Landlords and landladies don't want to be doing that email bollocks for rent and deposit. They want the readies like here now, ready. Obviously, with the council rent and deposit, that ain't the case. You got to email the landlord to say, I'm interested in your property. I can't afford it myself, but I'm having to do the rent and deposit scheme. And then like, okay, how do we do that? Well, you've got to actually email the rent and deposit scheme. And then basically it's all a bullshit verification process that takes like far too long. Basically, the system just doesn't work. And this is just one of the main contributing factors of we live in a fuck society. £600 per week per person. Think about that. Your average McDonald's worker earns what? Like £10 an hour, or no, I think £12.70 or something, the minimum wage. How much tax do they have to pay for it to add up to £600 per week? Doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't. Like, so I'm having to take 4 McDonald's workers' taxes, just to live per week. We should be living in a system where you want to pay tax, but we don't. We don't want to pay tax. Everyone wants to dodge tax, because it is a fraudulent system. It does not work. Housing benefit, council tax. Council tax is just fraud. Like, you move into a property and they expect you to pay council tax. You ain't obligated to pay that. That ain't mandatory. That's voluntary. They try to say, oh, we'll take your house and all that. There's loopholes around that. People won court cases about that shit. Just because I live here, or say, for instance, I wanted to rent a private flat, I have to go and pay council tax. What am I paying council tax for? Police, fire, ambulance, But they should be coming out of our fucking taxes. You get income tax, purchase tax, fucking housing tax, death tax, and fucking all that bollocks, mate. The system of tax does not work. Basically, I just want to clarify on this £600 per month. Look. Can you see that? No, you can't see it. It's backwards and shit. I'm going to try and flip it. So basically, that's how much the award is. That's how much it is per week. £559.77 per week. Per week. So, hold up. Fuck, I'm using my phone, so I can't get my calculator. My laptop's dead. That's brilliant. So let's do 4 times 559.77. 4 times, let's do this on a per monthly basis, yeah? So 4 times that, plus £80 a month, because that's top up, because we have to pay a service charge out of our benefits, like universal credit and PIP. If you get PIP, I'll get PIP. So this system of benefits, tax, and the homeless is unsustainable. That's basically what I want to underline. Yeah? It is unsustainable. We cannot carry on. I'm sweating. Just got out of the shower. I cannot carry on going like this, because at the end of the day, I've got 2 kids. I haven't seen them like 7 years. I love them dearly, but I cannot leave this world until it is fixed. Yeah? Like, I'm not leaving them this world until, oh my God, like, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So we're living in a system of depression. Everyone's depressed and shit. Yeah, the fucking cost of living's gone through the fucking roof. When is enough is enough? Like, when are you actually going to have the bollocks to say, nah? That was me 2 years ago. It's like, nah, I ain't going back to work. Bun that. And then basically I had some breakdown, ended up going nut ass. And basically we're here where we are now. Yeah. But it just eats me that we're paying £600 a week in rent. It's £600 per week, man. Like, my idea for the homeless, which I briefed on earlier, is basically we need a field in the middle of somewhere. We've got plenty of land in England that is ours. Yeah, we just need to take back a plot of land that will hold 40,000 people and some welfare units. So you have like sections, yeah? So you have like your high risk section, your medium risk, and your low risk section, possibly. So that is the only sustainable way that I can see forward for this homeless bullshit. Most people are homeless due to their own measures. Technically, I was made intentionally homeless because I left my property after eviction. I got evicted, section something, where they give you 3 months, and basically I left on that date. They said, council said, I made myself intentionally homeless because I left on my eviction date. I was just trying to be a normal person, trying to get through a fucking breakdown. I just didn't need them to come around with the police and the fucking bailiffs and shit to try and drag me out of the fucking property. Yeah, so I left on the date as a normal person would, and I went and slept in my car. Yeah, fuck the system. Yeah, it doesn't work. So who's ready to fix it, innit? Who's ready to stand up for what you believe in? Step 1 is my homeless plan. Yeah. If we need a field in the middle of nowhere, well, in the middle of somewhere, England, preferably Essex, where I live, so I can manage it and see it. I can see it in my mind how it's going to work. Yeah, it's easy, like, it's cheap, affordable, and effective. We cannot carry on paying £600 per week. If you see this flat that I live in, wait, I'm going to show you this flat. At first, I was living in a room somewhere else, and then they moved me here, but it's still technically a room because it's a two bedroom flat where I am now. So the other guy has moved out. He fucked off without even saying goodbye the other day. but it's still technically you're only getting a room. It's just I've got it lucky. Like some people don't get this, but I'm gonna show you anyway. Right, this is front door, kitchen, bathroom. That's one of the rooms that you were paying £600 per week for. This is my room. Ignore the washing on the bed. And then this is the front room. Ignore the studio stuff. I make music on the side. But paying for, like, I've been a plumber for over 10 years, yeah? And some would say I've earned like some sort of like peace and solitude, like a flat like this in a nice area. But I should be standing in the middle of a field. It's more sustainable for my country. It's the way that I'm living, and the way that they're basically a landlord. This property isn't owned by the homeless charity. It is subbed out to the homeless charity from a landlord. So the landlord is guaranteed his rents. The landlords are scumbags. Landlords and landladies are scumbags, man. Like, literally, they're buying houses just to rent out and people just to get housing benefit. Housing benefit system don't work, man. Like, it's dragging our system down. It's just like the NHS employing agency staff and subbing out their work to like other places like St John's, like part of NHS. NHS is NHS, yeah. Like they're gonna sell that shit if we're not careful. That's another story anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to have a little rant, man. Do you know what I mean? We need to take back what's ours, and we need to make sure this country works for our kids. Peace, one love, respect. God bless. Laters, taters. Going back on how I'm trapped here is because the rent is £2,000, and if I go back to work, I have to pay £2,000 a month. I can't afford that. Like even with plumbing wages, like that's barely affordable. I can't afford that shit. And to be able to save up to get my own place, like what the fuck? So like I'm sort of trapped in this system. So I sort of have to wait until I get psychological help, yeah, and then when I'm ready to go, well, when I go back to work, just do 3 months on the sly without telling them. How else am I gonna come out of this system of benefits? Yeah, I'm not a benefits grounder. I've paid in more than I've got out, mate. Do you know what I mean? I had my own company and that. I went bankrupt and shit. Do you know what I mean? I've paid in more than I've got out. Like, this is the harsh reality of the system that we live in. Is the people that are on benefits and that are trapped in that system, whether they like it or not. Yeah. So like, ideally, I want to go back to work. Yeah, but I need two grand to get back to work as a gas engineer. So I need to buy an analyzer. I need a refresher course in March next year, and I need to resubscribe to like the gas safe thing. And then I can be a gas engineer. Do you know what I mean? I spent £6,000 on a course that I haven't even really used. This system's broken, man, and we need to fix it, honestly. I checked was quite a few years ago, and according to statistics, and we can't trust the statistics website, like the government statistic website. We can't trust that. But let's go by their statistics anyway. Yeah. A few years ago, they said they had 40,000 rough sleepers. That includes people on park benches, and they include people in cars as rough sleeping. So it's 40,000 people in the middle of a field, yeah, with containers, with welfare, with security, yeah, in tents, yeah. it's sustainable. I'd live in a tent for a year. Fuck it. Do you know what I mean? What's the worst that can happen? It's doing good for our country because we know it's sustainable, yeah. And on a bit of land adjacent to that land could be a bit of land where homeless people actually build their houses themselves. Because I ain't the only fucking gas engineer that's homeless, yeah. Like, I've met one other gas engineer, he's a crackhead, but like passing his addiction, is still a gas engineer, he's still a tradesman, yeah. So we got all sorts of trades that are homeless, yeah, that can actually physically and capably build their own house, yeah. Why are we not doing this?